right. Welcome to 221 Summer Tasting, virtual tasting menu we have here. We are going to start with our biggest seller. This is our Rocky Mountain Trout. The reason it has this wonderful color is because it's been fed a diet of shrimp. And so that's why it gets the beautiful color. We serve this with fried capers, a little lemon brown butter, and then ravioli. There are going to be 2 different kinds of ravioli every night, and sometimes they'll switch throughout the evening. The skin is really crispy. This is just, we sold like, I don't even know, like 1,000 pounds of trout. We have our Rocky Mountain elk. Now this is from Canada, and it's just a wonderful piece of meat. It's an elk T-bone. So you get 2 different cuts of meat on it, and they're just wonderfully tasty. We've also brined this in juniper berries and rosemary, so it's very tender. And we're serving that with creamy polenta, artichoke hearts, shiitake, and these are candied pink peppercorns. You should eat one of these. They're really
thank you.
It's food. Okay, next we have our salmon. This is a Norwegian organic salmon, and we're serving it with a pea puree, and then also black rice. It's also known as forbidden rice, radish, and sweet potato.
With the trout, the biggest difference of the ravioli themselves is obviously the fresh pasta. You can always tell a huge difference there in the texture and just how all of the flavors go together there. I always describe the trout as simple, classic flavors, but don't let that dissuade you in any way because all of them go together so nicely. It doesn't really need a bunch of different things going on. It lets the trout shine through itself. Crispy capers add a bit of texture to there, a bit of pop of crunch along with the skin as well. And then the brown butter, just with the richness there, kind of ties everything together without making it too heavy.
Yeah, and then to add on to her pasta comment, this pasta actually has a really nice bite to it. It's a little bit chewy, which is perfect for a fresh pasta. And the 2 flavors are just wonderfully complementing the trout itself. I wasn't a big fan of trout until I've had this dish. It kind of reminds me of a salmon dish, but it has a lighter flavor. Just the flavor of the trout itself, yeah. But the brown butter really adds to the trout.
Lime leaf coulis. So when I was reading about the menu, there was all this stuff about kaffir lime being like a derogatory term.
So we call it macroot. We're still filming. So we call it macroot because kaffir lime leaf would be like calling them like, you know, something racist. It is calling it something racist. Oh, that is forbidden rice. So that's black rice. The reason it's forbidden is because
it was only meant for
it was reserved for royalty.
Because they thought it had a higher nutrition content.
Tell me about the salmon, Trang.
Perfectly cooked, very crispy, nice skin, outer layer but moist on the inside. Texturally, it works really well with the black rice because the black rice adds a nice crunch to the salmon dish. The green tomato is actually probably my favorite part of this dish. It has, I'm a big texture person, so just having that nice, like, slightly tartness from the green tomatoes to blend in with like the richness of the black rice and the lime leaf coulis works really well.
All of the vegetables have a little bit of a bite to them too, so it's that nice summer freshness, nothing's overcooked. I always think crispy skin on salmon is one of the greatest things. It always surprises me when guests don't eat that. You can tell this is king salmon, so it has a higher fat content, kind of adds almost a creaminess to the dish, whereas everything else is kind of like light, fresh tasting. A lot of good green on the plate and flavor from the peas as well. Very summery. Seems a little more like medium than medium rare.
It was probably medium rare 5 minutes ago. What's it taste like? Both of you with your mouths full.
It's super lean. It's not gamey at all, which is impressive because usually elk is like a little bit gamey. And for it being even medium here, it's not. Obviously, it was medium rare when we sat down.
It might be medium rare closer to the bone too. Give me like in that New York strip side.
It's not tough at all. Like
it's very tender.
When you're eating it, it's super tender.
Yeah.
Almost tastes like something that has some marbling. Oh yeah, definitely a lot more medium rare right there. All of the flavors go together super nicely. I really like the texture of the artichoke hearts with that too, and with the polenta. Again, kind of more on the simple side. but the shiitake mushrooms kind of added the earthiness of all of it, and once again just kind of reminds you of Telluride summer when you drive in and see all the elk on the floor.
Yeah, my pet for the day. I really love the candied peppercorn on this dish. It adds a really nice finishing touch to just the light flavor of the elk. And again, like all the components really work well together. I think my favorite component on this whole entire dish would be the artichokes as well. Very nice texturally.